And we're back here, main event with this guy. It's not every day I get to sit next to a legend. Dale Hellestrae's on the other side of the building. Bruce Cooper, of course, Channel 12 for, I think we determined 34 years. 34. Nobody knows for sure out there, but joins us on Tuesdays and everything. You were just telling, you guys got me hungry with that conversation during the break.
Yeah, hosted the fourth family barbecue at our house. I wasn't going to have my wife go out and do all the grilling and stuff because I don't really cook, you know. So went to Famous Dave's and, had a meal catered from them. So
is Famous Dave's good?
Yeah.
I haven't had it in a long time.
Everyone seemed to enjoy it. We had the pulled barbecue chicken, the brisket, and I believe it was the St. Louis and not the baby back ribs.
You didn't cater in from Buc-ee's, the brisket sandwich?
Hey, I saw a story on that. That's insane. I mean,
well, we stopped by there on Thursday on our way over to San Diego.
How long did you have to wait?
Actually, there wasn't. I mean, it was busy. Don't get me wrong,
okay.
But there was no lines or anything. I waited in the line for like 3 minutes for my jerky.
Yeah, I saw a story on the news
like
where there are people who had been waiting up to like 4 hours.
Yeah, that was when it first opened.
Are you insane?
I was telling everybody. I know somebody that lives up at like I-17 in Deer Valley in that area. Works up in that area. When it first opened, left their house at like 2 a.m, went down there, stood in line, got a brisket sandwich, drove all the way back home, went to work. Well, I saw over the weekend, they went back down there again. Same thing where they just left like early in the morning, went down there just to get a brisket sandwich. And I'm like, that's dedication, man. That's dedication.
I don't know that. I don't even know if I'm going to do that for Steak 44.
I know. I stopped on my way out of town. We ran into the kid's orthodontist. When we were in there, so it's like you run into all your friends while you're in there. It wasn't bad but this was Thursday morning. I hear on the weekends it's still packed and stuff like that. But yeah. I mean, it's just a glorified, mini Walmart.
It's insane. I remember at 12 when a place like In-N-Out came here, or a place like White Castle came here.
Yeah,
I mean,
they'd
have these lines that went forever. I'm like, dude, there's no way.
Yeah, White Castle had like 6-hour waits. Well,
yeah,
we worked
drive
right there.
from Yuma, and
I had to change my way into the radio station back then because we drove by the White Castle, and I had to change my way into work because the line was so long and shut down roads.
Yeah, it was
for like a month.
Ridiculous. Are you kidding me?
For sliders that just make you want to throw up afterwards. Yeah. All right, whatever. If you say so. But other than the 4th of July, did you see fireworks by chance?
Dude, I'm so not into that anymore.
Really?
I'm not into
You didn't
that.
go anywhere, huh?
No. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the wife and I hosted the barbecue, and we all watched some movies. There was a movie. What was the name of this movie that we watched? I'm so bad with names.
Well, describe it. Who's in it? Describe it.
I couldn't.
You can't even do that.
I tell you who was in it. It was Sandra Bullock, and as your
a rom-com?
No, I think it was the Unforgivable.
Okay.
Yeah, Unforgivable. So, I guess her parents got killed or something. I can't remember if they got killed or they ran it. Yeah, I think they got killed. And anyway, so she's raising her 5-year-old sister. And naturally, she can't pay the rent and stuff like that. So they come to take her, and the sheriff is coming in to get him. And she's like barricaded herself in. And she said, "You can't come. You're not going to take us."
Yeah.
She knows they're going to CPS or whatever. And
because she was in prison for a while in that movie, right?
Well, yeah, because what happened was, and you don't learn this to the end. You just know that she went to prison.
Spoiler alert! Go ahead.
Yeah, she went to prison for shooting the sheriff who came in to get him.
Yeah.
And as it shows at the end, it's actually the 5-year-old sister that killed her.
Yeah.
Killed the sheriff. But so she's not going to let drop down on her 5-year-old sister. She took the blame for it. So as you watch the whole thing evolve, it was pretty good. I'd never seen it before. That was pretty good.
You thought it was good? Yeah. I'm not a Sandra Bullock fan. I'd rather watch Paint Dry.
Oh, dude, what is wrong with you? I mean, she did an excellent job in that movie.
Steve is so wrong. Steve is so wrong.
Her and Ben Affleck. I would rather have a stick shoved in my eye repeatedly than watch anything they're in. But that's just my take. Robert says, does McGregor show up? That's the big question, Robert. He's still got time to back out of this. Okay. And then Ethan says, I think McGregor gets hurt during this fight. That is true. His last fight, he got hurt too. think he broke his ankle or something. Are you gonna watch the McGregor fight this weekend?
Dude, I am not a UFC fan at all.
You're
I
not?
mean, absolutely not. My brother drives me insane with his passion for the sport. I
Right.
mean, dude.
They're passionate fans, yeah.
Back. Oh, he's very passionate.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I used to watch boxing. Coming up.
Yeah.
But I just could never cross over to UFC. I tried it. I can't do
I
it.
couldn't either. And then we have Lou on. He's going to lose on Friday this week, by the way. That's why we're doing a Friday show. We'll talk more about that tomorrow because it's a limited show on Friday. But Lou's going to come on Friday. And but since we've had him on, he's a gambling guy that follows UFC and handicaps it and stuff like that. It piqued my interest. So at first I just have it on and be like, this is stupid. I was with you. Like, this is dumb. This is just too brutal. This is ridiculous. But as I've come to understand how they fight, the way he talks about it and what he says about it, and I know what they're doing now, it's actually become pretty interesting to me for the most part. There's a lot I don't like about it.
To each his own.
Yeah, but I'm not one of those fanatic fans that are out there where people lose their minds about it, from that perspective. But here's the thing for you guys before Big 12 Media Days today. We'll get into that. Kenny Dillingham talks at 10:30. Couple things for you, but one, I saw this on The Athletic. We got to get ready for football here, guys. July 22nd
Yes.
is when the Cardinals report a month from yesterday, Hall of Fame game, which I know is ridiculous,
How about
but
that?
we'll see Carson Beck in that game, assuming he's signed, right, Dale? Got to sign our quarterbacks first.
There was another guy that I saw who was a third-round pick who signed yesterday. We were thinking Beck was the last of the Mohicans, but
He's the last one on the Suns, but
right.
on the Cardinals.
Okay.
Sorry, I have my Suns notes up here.
Okay.
So somebody else did sign yesterday.
Look, if you guys are getting excited about Carson Beck, I mean, you guys are really, really missing the boat. My goodness.
Okay, but we're supposed to get excited about Jacoby Brissett and Minshew to win their three games.
There's nothing. Well, look, I'm excited about the rookie class, some of the people in the rookie class, but I'm not putting my eggs at that quarterback position. I think that's one of the really low spots on the team. When you start looking at incrementally at the positions and stuff like that, where the Cardinals have improved, I think offensively. Their best position is most talented position is running back. Next, you go to the receiver / tight end.
They're gonna cut a decent running back.
And the offensive line would be third on that group with the quarterback position last.
Right, and the thing is, it's fascinating because obviously, in my mind, right now, Jacoby Brissett gives them the best chance to win games.
I agree with that.
Whether you say he's the best quarterback, whether he's the most right now, I think he gives them the best chance to win games. Now, he's holding out. He's doing whatever it is he's doing, holding. Nobody, not one person has said, what is he asking for?
Yeah.
Nobody said, hey, the Cardinals offered him $15 million for the year, but a significant increase.
And he wants 30
and
or
he
something
wants
like
30.
that. The only thing we heard was they're significantly apart is what the ESPN
Yeah, but
report
Cardinals-wise, that could be 10 and 8.
Oh, Dale, it could be a penny off the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's bad, and honestly, I'm really not that excited about the Cardinals season. I usually get excited about football season when it rolls around, particularly when it relates to the Cardinals and the Arizona State Sun Devils. Hence some of our bets that we've made over the years. But I'm just not excited about this, and because I just feel that they've regressed at that quarterback position.
There's no doubt.
And that's a very, very key and important position. Now, if you're like the Baltimore Ravens, who have a Trent Dilfer at quarterback who just turns around and hands the ball off or just gets the ball out and quickly while your defense is standout and you go and win a Super Bowl behind Ray Lewis and company, that's a whole different subject for another day. That's not the Arizona Cardinals.
No.
And so when I look and I see that the Los Angeles Rams added some dude named Myles Garrett to their roster, I see that the Seattle Seahawks, though they have the Super Bowl champions defending Seattle Seahawks, though they have suffered a number of different personnel losses, they're still the same at quarterback.
But their personnel losses, because I was reading about their personnel losses are guys they could afford to let go because their backups were scheduled to come in and start for them over the next couple of years anyway. They got playing time the last couple of years, and they're comfortable with them coming in. Kenny Walker being the only one.
I thought Kenneth Walker was a huge difference maker.
He's the one
difference.
difference.
And keep in mind, Zach Charbonneau suffered, I believe, an ACL tear late in the season, so he's not going to be available. So, but they did draft the rookie Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame. He was Jeremiah Love's backup, yeah. And so, but I looked there, and then the 49ers. I'm saying, man, Brock Purdy. I'm looking at this dude have a huge year. I mean, they bring over Mike Evans from the Tampa Bay, Ricky Pearsall. I mean, brother just can't stay healthy. But he's extremely talented.
It's that grit that they have there, Coop.
Yeah, and then they bring over Christian Kirk, and you already have Kittles at tight end. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he's got some weapons, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And
Coop, well, we're on Senators, and you just keep that in mind wherever you're going next. Did you ever know Brandon Ayuk at ASU?
I did.
And
he was not this aloof cannon that he is right now. I mean, I matter of fact, he was. You could say he was kind of taciturn. I mean, he was really a quiet guy.
I was going to say, you're using a lot of words. I don't even know what you mean. Quiet?
Quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, he's quiet.
Taciturn, my brain hurts.
Well, he's one of those guys that you put a mic in front of him and very,
that's a TV guy's words right there, folks.
And very few words come out.
Okay.
He wasn't that.
He was always quiet. That's what I remember him being. Yeah.
He wasn't that dude, but I mean, man,
he loves his Instagram
I guess
right
when
now.
you get paid, man, I mean, it takes you to a different level of belonging.
But here's the problem: he got paid, but he hasn't gotten any of it because he doesn't want to play anymore.
I don't get it.
And he's playing it so badly that I don't know if you saw this yesterday. I think it was, but he was on Instagram saying that, "Oh, I don't care what the Niners do. I'm never going to go back to them." And because he has to negotiate with them, they have his rights. They have to release him or do it. He goes, I'm not gonna go through that process. So the Niners can literally just put him on a list and keep him and never have him play football again stuff to that. And it's like, what are you doing? You've gone from getting out of the Niners to where they can keep your rights and keep you at home. And it's like, what are you doing right now? There's I hate to say it, but there's something wrong with this.
Yeah,
kid.
there really is. I mean, look, he keeps going out, and the Commanders aren't going to say anything because they're not going to tamper.
Jaden Daniels unfollowed him and all that.
He keeps saying that that's where he wants to go play with Jaden Daniels, his former quarterback, and this, that, and the other. And he's like he's writing his own path to where.
Yeah,
it don't work like that.
But on his Instagram, I saw that on Twitter somewhere. He's talking about Jaden Daniels, and I'm a grown man.
Well, Jaden Daniels unfollowed him on whatever social media.
I didn't know that part.
So then Ayuk lashed out at Jaden Daniels saying, "I made you." And stuff. I was on vacation. I was following that.
Okay, because I just saw that.
No, it's just something's happened to Brandon Ayuk where I don't know.
But
he
has to understand that Jaden Daniels nor the Washington Commanders can say anything about him because it would be tampering and they would be sanctioned.
Right.
So I would imagine, and here's the deal. See, Ayuk and Jaden Daniels, they've stayed in contact with each other throughout the seasons and everything like that. Even when he was in college and in the NFL, they've stayed in contact. I'm sure it's the Commanders who said, "Hey, man, you got to unfollow this dude."
Yeah. Right.
I don't think
you're going to get us in trouble.
But yeah. And so, and I don't know what's wrong.
It's an interesting concept there. But the reason why I bring up NFL is the Athletic did. We're starting to see this, like things to look for in training camp, and the Athletic did this. Who you added to a team, the most beneficial addition to each team out there. Now, for most teams, they have a player. For the Atlanta Falcons, they have Ian Cunningham, their general manager. And for the Cardinals, their biggest addition, they say, is Mike LaFleur.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, that's what they say there. It's not a good sign when you add a guy like Jeremiah Love, and they do say Jeremiah Love probably should be that answer, but they're putting it on LaFleur as a new head coach there and stuff like that. But it's never good. It's never good when your head coach is the biggest addition you've had on the team.
Well,
when you won 3 games last
year. That's subjective, and I think it's idiocy anyway. I mean, the guy is not going to play a second of any game. Look, I would definitely look at some of the draft picks, and then I think they're probably their best free agent pickup was probably Isaac Ciamalo from
Yeah,
the
the left guard.
Steelers. Yeah.
Oh no, they improved that offensive line. Now they got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Monty's got a history of signing big name,
his first
good
round
quality offensive linemen that just don't come in healthy.
Yeah, and his first round picks usually wind up missing half the season, if
Well,
not all of it.
well,
Oh, yeah, well,
Injuries.
those are defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Or
I
defensive linemen.
just wanted to bring it up that that's just kind of the focus
Well,
of the Athletic, at least.
And
Doug
I
Haller
heard,
does
and I
that.
heard this over the weekend, and right now they're in the worst 4-season stretch in
Yeah.
Cardinals history
I think
as far as losses.
I think
Which
they lost
is
49 games.
Yeah.
Which is
And-
unbelievable because
and
they've
so-
had some bad years.
And so, get this. They could go 10-7 next year, which they're not going to do. Even Coop's not that
Come on.
crazy.
Hey, come on. Brandon Beck, we believe.
But they go 10-7 next year, and it's still gonna be the worst 5-year stretch in Cardinals history. And it ain't like this is a team littered with Super Bowls.
Yeah, you know the thing that's so bad about the Arizona Cardinals is that they can't identify, the areas that they need to put money in and get better at.
Mhm.
They draft a lot of redundant. And I'll give you an example. Let's look at the linebacker position. They have spent so many first round picks.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Hassan Reddick, Zach. I'm losing his name.
Well, the guy from LSU.
You're
that's-
talking about
B-
Zach
B-
from
B-
that went to the Broncos?
No. Zaven Collins.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say,
said
there's no
Collins.
Zach,
yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's why I was,
Zaven
like,
Collins.
confused.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know where I got Zach, but it's definitely Zaven Collins. It just finally came to me. And they just keep adding to that position group. I mean, even though Isaiah Simmons wasn't a linebacker technically, they called him the Swiss Army knife.
But they wanted
And
those
they- yeah,
hybrid positions.
Yeah, and they played him more at that linebacker slot
Yeah.
than they did at safety. But I mean, dude, look, why do you keep beating that dead horse? And they wind up letting Hassan Reddick go, and Reddick becomes a star elsewhere because the Cardinals have mismanaged his playing position.
Same problem though, position
Yeah.
problem, because they wanted him to be a hybrid and they chose for him.
Yeah.
And there's always this thing here. Remember in the D-backs, and it was always like, we want those sidearm guys. It's like the Arizona teams just always want to change positions, and it rarely works out for us here
Yeah.
locally.
Yeah, and so they just continue to spin their wheels in the mud.
Mhm.
And it's the same old. I'm still a position. Look, I've been here, covered the Cardinals since they got here in '88. I've just seen a lot of bad quarterback play, and so I know the good quarterback plays when I see him. So, but the Cardinals had two older guys that came in Warner and Carson Palmer.
Off the scrap
yeah,
heap.
yeah, and they're on the back end of their careers. I mean, their careers in their rearview mirror, but their intelligence and the playmakers that were placed around them elevated the Cardinals
that's
to a
the
different
key.
level.
The
and
playmakers.
So when they bring in Kyler Murray, I mean, wow, you get excited, man. Here's a guy who can evade rushes, make plays off script, and things like that. But they just don't put these playmakers around him for continued success. I mean, they had it going for 1 year when they had DeAndre Hopkins here, and once D Hop got hurt, I mean, everything just
It's been
spiraled.
downhill since
And
then.
and Kyler and him never played together
No.
again.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and now I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, Monty, you're doing something now. I mean, he goes out and gets Jeremiah Love in free agency, brings in a guy named Tyler Algier. Look, we all watched Algier play at BYU collegiately in the Pac-12. So you have a thunder and lightning combo again. I mean, you remember when they had Chase Edmonds and James Conner?
Yeah.
Well, those were the running backs for the Cardinals, and they called themselves Thunder and Lightning.
Right.
And they offered a contrast in the backfield for the Cardinals when Kyler is ready to do his thing with D Hop and Christian Kirk and the guy from he's playing AJ Green,
Right.
and so yeah.
I was just laughing because I was like, you're gonna make me say AJ Green, aren't you?
but that was it, and so I'm just saying that Monty's building that team again, because now if you look at out wide, look, I'm convinced that Marvin Harrison is going to click for him. He's too good.
I don't
He's
know
too
what makes you
good.
think that's going to happen.
Yeah. But see, you got him, Michael Wilson. You got Trey McBride, and they went and got the veteran Kendrick Bourne. So they actually have some playmakers. Behind center, at running back, and out wide.
Well, you'll be able to also you're going to be able to see Algier and Love in the game at the same time because you can split Love out.
Yeah, you can put in packages like that. And so I'm just saying that now for the first time that offense has been built with some playmakers again, and so now whoever is behind center, under center, they're not going to be devoid of people who they can get the ball to. Because behind Trey McBride, they have some other nice. I've always liked Higgins there. I think he's a
nice
really
contrast.
Yeah.
But the Cardinals owner, at least he lets Brides know that he's giving up this sweet. That's what his priorities are.
That's how that started. But where the Cardinals continue to lack is on the defensive side of the ball as well. They can never hit on both sides of the ball at the same time. How many times did we see the Cardinals suffer these walk-off losses?
Oh yeah.
Look, they were 2-3 with Kyler Murray before he said no mas.
And three of those losses were
They were all walk-offs.
Yeah.
Dude, we're talking about you have the lead, and if you could either get a first down or if your defense can make a stop, you're 5-0.
Right. It wasn't like the other teams were in field goal position.
No.
They drove down the field to get in that time. I don't think my heart can't handle this.
So you could say that they're close, they're getting there, but just like our U.S. Men's soccer team, I'm watching that, dude. You're not ready.
No,
they're not ready for the big stage.
No. But boy, it was fun while it lasted. I know we got to take a break.
Yep.
We can come back and talk about that.
To top of the hour here, we'll get Coop's opinion on the U.S. national. That's my take. Is they're not at that level. They hit the level that they're good enough to get to, and then they flamed out. But we do have to talk college football, a Big 12 media day. Not a lot to talk about now, but we will have stuff to talk about tomorrow. Your D-backs. Dale's back on the bandwagon after last night. Climbed back up that railing to get up there.
Mr. Fott.
Suns did something Coop I know how to be happy about yesterday, signing a certain player to a two-way deal, but they also did something with their front office that I find intriguing as well. We'll talk about that. Come on back, folks. We'll talk about the Phoenix Spartans coming up as well. With Bruce Cooper, come on back. Second hour coming up next.
Than I ever had.
Yeah, welcome back, Dale. Dale's impressed with that. And then he won't watch it again and he won't even watch it in 4 years because it's in Morocco.
If it's in Morocco, I ain't getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch it.
Late night games there as well. Of course, second hour main event with Bruce Cooper here on this Tuesday. Of course, a local legend around these parts and his sports knowledge and who he interacted with for 34 years over at Channel 12 as well. And, it's just... World Cup soccer. We talked about it earlier, but the United States team is good enough to be a top 16 team in the world. They're not good enough to compete with they're definitely the top 5, but probably maybe the top 10 teams. They just can't be at their. They'd have to play a perfect game to beat that. That's my takeaway. Yours?
Yeah. Look. When I've been, like I said, been covering the U.S. men's national team whenever they're in the Olympics or the World Cup, and they've never had that miracle on ice moment.
Right.
They just haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I just look and I saw last night. I said, these self-inflicted errors. I think the biggest being the goalkeeper coming out. All he has to do is kick the darn ball. You clear it out of your zone. Yeah. He stubbed his foot in the ground. Who does that? And so now,
well, you know who does that? Down at the park, your local park, you're playing a pickup game.
Yeah, and so what happens? It leads to a Belgium striker being able to kick the ball into a net, the USA net that has no goalkeeper.
Right.
He's out of position now.
Right.
Dude, and so it just led me to this. I said, you know what? This team, this U.S. men's national team, they're just not ready for the big stage. When the lights get brighter, and the stage gets higher, they melt. And so I'm just saying to myself, okay, to me, this appears to be an experience thing or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why don't they? And I don't know what they do because I don't follow them that closely.
Right.
And I'm going to say this, and maybe that someone can text and say, "Coop, they already do that." I would go to France. I'd go to Spain. I'd go to Argentina, and I'd play friendlies there because see what happens is those stadiums are going to be. Do they really? Okay, so
that's not the problem, Coop.
It seemed like that the stage got big, and they're not used to these big crowds.
Yeah, no. Okay, you're on the right track there, but what you're missing is, like for the Belgian players, they all play high level club soccer, meaning Premier League. They play in games of this size routinely every week with large crowds, with lots of stuff on the line, they play high level soccer every time they step on the pitch. Usually, the U.S. players don't get that same advantage overall. Did you notice yesterday when Belgium subbed in a couple guys in the second half? They were subbing in guys that could have started for their team, and they just benched them that game. And they could bring them in later to give them rest.
Well, I think
the U.S. is bringing in bench guys. Well, the problem is that the U.S. doesn't have playing friendlies against those guys is going to give you talent, but it also starts. To me, the Belgian team wasn't overwhelmed by being in the round of 16 game in a World Cup because they play in big environments all the time. The U.S. was. But it starts bigger. It starts bigger than that.
How do you get more experience playing on the big stage?
You need these young players to go into soccer and go into these big camps and stuff.
Well, you're saying big camps. I mean, it seems like to me a sold out 80 to 95,000 seat stadium would be more beneficial than playing in a camp. I don't know what a camp.
No. So like Belgian players, they come up and like when they're 8, 9 years old, they get plucked out as good soccer players and they go into these camps and they grow up playing soccer and getting their education. And hold on, and then when they get up, now they're playing high level. They're good enough to play high level Premier League soccer, which would be like the NFL, right? Like take a college kid. I'll equate it this way. Take a college kid, put him in the NFL. It's a little bit of a struggle, right? Brighter lights, things to that effect. Even if they have the talent to be there, little bit of a learning adjustment.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying.
The Belgian team walked out on that field yesterday because they play in that environment all the time, weekly.
Okay. Well, then
whereas the U.S. players don't.
If it's not the friendlies, then they need to play. That's what they need. They need because to me, I thought that there were 3 different goals that Belgium scored that were a result of either our inexperience or our
mistakes.
Our being
you're on the right track.
Frightened on the big stage.
Yeah,
because
you're on the right track.
Yeah. And so I don't know what that is, but if it's those camps, because I'm not familiar with it.
The Belgian players that you saw yesterday have played more soccer in big time stages than anybody on the American side. But so they walked onto that pitch yesterday just like it's just another game. Whereas the U.S., in my opinion, went out and went, oh, my God.
From the opening kick, they were frightened.
I agree with you. That's the difference.
So here's the thing. Coop, until the younger part of this changes, because you know this as well as Steve and I do. If you're a premier athlete, what sport are you steered towards? Football, basketball, or baseball? If you're a premier athlete,
sure.
We don't have our premier athletes that hey, let's all put them in soccer.
Well, a lot of our people are what President Trump would call birthright players.
Brother.
Well, they are. I mean, our and see, I disagreed with this too. I mean, I guess Flo Balogun was supposed to be our best player, and he gets a red card. Now look. I want our viewers to understand this. I was really conflicted. I mean, first of all, coming in, I'm rooting for the North American countries. I'm rooting for Mexico, Canada, and the USA. Okay. And so, starting yesterday, we're down to just the USA because Canada and Mexico's already been eliminated. But when the President Trump made this call to the FIFA president and actually changed their minds and rescinded the red card and allowed Balogun to play, dude, I'm like, no, No, if you follow the history, you already know that this FIFA president granted Trump a special Peace Prize trophy or whatever it was. So they had this friendship.
Mhm.
Dude, favoritism should not come into play here.
It comes into play all the time
No,
with
it
FIFA.
should not. It should
all the time with FIFA.
Well, I don't know that
FIFA's a
either.
corrupt organization that they take money. They constantly change their rules. They let Ronaldo play in the first 2 rounds of the tournament when he should have been suspended. They allowed that, and you're not upset about that.
Well,
Goob.
see, here's the deal.
It's ridiculous to be upset about what they did. It's ridiculous.
I'm just saying what I saw. See, as you guys look. First of all, understand this. Just like Steve was trying to educate me on the camp, I don't follow this stuff. I don't follow soccer, but I do know what looks bad to my eyes. The optics look horrible.
Are you supposed to get the call correct? Or are you supposed to get the call wrong? Here's the answer.
Well,
you have the VAR. Are you supposed to get the call correct? Is the call supposed to be done right? They fixed the wrong. He should not have gotten a red card in that situation.
No. Here's the deal. And I'm going to explain this to you. And I'm going to draw. I'm making an analogy with this. There is a system. The VAR is like the video assistant referee. Okay, that's what it said. The acronym for that stands for. They went through that process. And they determined that Balogun committed a foul
and it was the wrong call.
Get a red card. Regardless, that's what they did. That's what they did. All right. So then the FIFA has this committee that reviews all red cards. They upheld that deal, and so now Balogun has to sit.
They don't have a committee. It's just what the rule is. They went to the committee for the rule number 27. They have a right
to overturn that. They didn't. They upheld it. This is the language and everything that I'm at. But now, hold on.
Yeah, because
and so now, Trump makes a phone call and it's overturned. So you know what? And look, I know it's not. It could be apples and oranges, and it probably is. But I felt like Belgium during the 2007 run of the Phoenix Suns to the playoffs. There's this rule that you can't, if there's a ruckus on the floor, you can't go onto the floor. Mm-hmm. Well, they determined, Commissioner Stern determined that after looking at the video, that Boris Diaw and Amari Stoudemire stepped off the bench. Mm-hmm. And so now they're suspended for the next game. Mm-hmm. Well, dude, keep watching. Everyone shows the video. Even Colangelo went, look, Tony Parker and Tim Duncan stepped off the bench as well. Right. Why aren't they? So now you're pissed because you feel like favoritism is being shown. The same rules don't apply. And so I'm not aware of any of a history of this. All I'm telling you is that the optics to me of this look bad.
But here's listen to what you're complaining about. And I'll let Del talk. Listen to what you're complaining about for a second there. The Suns were wrong by David Stern.
No.
Because it wasn't put out there properly.
I'm telling you, I felt like Belgium, because see, you feel like the rules aren't applying. They're not the same. Favoritism is being shown.
Okay, I got that.
That's all I'm saying. So I'm just telling you that favoritism is being shown here, but a phone call the president makes.
No, okay. So here's what I take out. First of all, the way I've approached it, Bruce, is you and I don't know enough about soccer to be critical of.
I admit that.
And that's why I've kind of stayed out of that a little bit.
But the optics look bad.
Right, you can say that, and again, a lot of that is driven by your politics.
I want to see the best players on the field.
No, because again, whoever made the phone call, that they didn't. I don't want to get into all that part of it. I'm just saying that I've heard it from experts on both sides, just like the Suns and the Spurs. I've heard it on both sides that. Boy, the VAR is not there. You can't slow motion things to give a red card. You can't. You could do it for other things, but not give a red card. I've heard all sorts of stuff. So, and then the last part is Belgium was a better team to begin with. Whether you could have given Ronaldo to the American team, that did not change.
Russia was the better team on the ice in 1980, but U.S. won. So that's why they play the games,
right?
And so all I'm saying is that I don't like the appearance.
Yeah,
and look, I'm rooting. I want to root for the USA. That's my country. Yeah. I want to see Balogun play. I want to see the best players out there. But if you break the rule, I don't want that rule amended for my team.
Okay,
I don't.
Okay, so when you say that, because you brought it up, did you think the Suns deserve to have their guy suspended? in the moment.
Okay, yes, by the rule of the game. But I also, if you play that same rule, Tony Parker and Tim Duncan ain't playing that game either. So now it's all good in the hood. But when you allow the same, you don't apply the rule properly.
Evenly.
Evenly. Dude, I got a major problem.
Yeah.
And so Steve's telling me that this rule has not been applied.
Five players have had this happen where their red cards have been redone since this rule was into effect.
I'm not aware of that.
Right, and that's why I try and stay out of it a little bit.
And so, even if that's the case, the optics look bad. And I'm telling you, I'm just like, dude, stay out of it. I mean, for crying out loud, I don't want any favoritism. I don't want to be, I want to win fairly.
No, see, but here's my point in this is, if you're going to have replay, get the call right. And I'm tired of watching replay in every sport out there blow the calls when they're supposed to get it right. So you need another mechanism to fix the idiots in the replay that can't get it right when they can stare at television screens, high-definition television screens. Fix it. Get it right. That's all I want you to do is get it right. I don't care.
I'll tell you the best one is baseball.
I know. I've been watching baseball, and I don't see – I've never seen a problem. Even when it's a split hair, they do the right thing.
Yeah.
They stay with the call on the field.
Right.
I mean, I haven't seen anything in baseball that's wrong. And then in the NBA, dude – I can't argue with that.
Well,
I really can't. I mean, what have I seen in the NBA
Well, again, I don't know if I can do
flagrant one fouls are always called wrong.
I can't.
But that's not a video replay.
Yeah.
We always go to the video replay.
The ref stands in front of that 70s bargain, and they go,
anyway,
we're going to look at this as a flagrant, and then they go look at it.
Yeah.
And then they still call it flagrant, and you're like, all the guy did was look at the guy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll acknowledge that.
That's where I get into this. Is I could care less if he played or not. I could care less if his red card was rescinded. But get the call right. And I think they got it right. That's where I stand on it. Plus, FIFA's not stupid. The reason why that rule's in there, they want the best players on the field at all times in this event specifically.
Well,
that's what they want.
And I think all leagues have a little bit of that in them. You know,
they're not stupid.
You don't want a Super Bowl without Tom, that New England's playing in, and you don't have Tom Brady.
Because you don't want a Game 6 Suns Spurs. You don't want that without the Suns, two of their best players out there on the court, because it wasn't doing taints it and annoys everybody and stuff like that. The easier decision is to let them go out there and play, and then say it's full court. You know, then everybody's at full strength and stuff like that. That's just where I lean on that side and everything. But it doesn't matter. They got their butts kicked. So.
Yeah. Like I said,
they're not ready for prime time.
No.
And I think that is a travesty within itself.
But
I mean, I've been saying the same thing since for the past 40 years.
Okay, but Coop, here, again, and I think a lot of people do this. I'll say that every 4 years I'll say that. But what's the solution? How do you change that? Because not like other countries have that many better athletes than we do. What's the solution? It was, in my mind, soccer will never ever crack the top 3/4 sports in America.
Bill, I think you hit the nail on the head as it relates to the U.S. men's national team. The reason why our women can win a World Cup or win a gold medal in the same sport as soccer is because they don't have a comparable alternative.
Right.
Here in America, I mean, the pigskin, that football is number one here. Right. And so the best athletes matriculate to play that sport, not soccer. And so we wind up with a lot of I guess foreign players, if you will. Right. I mean, who are birthright citizens that fill out our U.S. men's national team. Right. And that's all good in the hood. But if them getting better means, spending more money to get in these camps that Steve's talking about, then do it.
I mean, I was reading a story this morning, like here in America, young kids, when they're good at soccer, they can join, like, it's kind of like in basketball. These top high school kids, these top junior high kids, they get filtered into these schools where they go and they get scholarships, and they go into these basketball schools. They get an education there, but they're there to play basketball.
Like the academies here,
the academies and stuff.
Yeah.
But they get paid to go there. There's not that mechanisms here to go to. If you're a really good soccer player as a kid, you want to do it. You go join a club and you're spending $20,000-$30,000 a year to join that club. Over there, Brazil, Europe. Oh, they're going to your parents and going, we'll pay you guys X amount of money for your kid to come join us here, play the sport, grow up, things to that effect. They pay them, and here it's the opposite.
And for every,
it's that stuff. It's the experience as you grow up and being in those bright lights and things to that.
For every Ronaldo out there, that comes through the system, there's 500 guys who don't pan out, but yet they're spending money and doing those. Again, yeah. I don't think America will ever, in our lifetimes, Coop, you and I don't got that much longer to live, but in our lifetimes, approach the top 10, top 8 countries in the world in soccer, just because it's our 4th most popular sport if you're going to put it up there.
I don't even think it's 4th.
But you're going to put football, basketball, baseball, and probably hockey.
Well, the other side of it is our MLS is just straight trash compared to all the aging superstars come here for money to live in the United States and stuff. Every other, even the bad leagues like the Italian leagues, their top tier league is better than the MLS is, and things that Italy can't even qualify for a World Cup.
Yeah, to that point, I remember the phrase "bend them on Beckham."
Yeah, bend like Beckham.
Because Beckham came and played for the LA team here.
Yes.
Yeah, and everybody else was making like $600,000 a year. Like the best player, then Beckham shows up and it's $25 million a year or something.
But think about this, Scoop. Think about just recent names, and you could go through the annals of history. But what if Jeremiah Love started playing soccer? As a freshman in high school.
He'd be fantastic.
What if Marvin Harrison, or I'm just talking about Cardinal, but you named some of these athletic guys, if they were playing soccer from the time they were 8 years old, and that was their calling.
Well, see, I think if you look internationally, when young kids are growing up, they can turn on their TVs and they see that type of soccer being played.
Well,
in America, when we turn on our TVs, we see the gridiron being played. And so that's where you matriculate to.
They grew up idolizing. All those Belgian players grew up idolizing players in in those leagues and wanted to be like them.
They have their jerseys and stuff like that. That it's not the same dynamic here. And so all I'm saying is that I didn't know that our U.S. men's national team was going and playing these friendlies in these big stadiums. If these camps that Steve's talking about, then hey, look, I'd put the money. It's all comes down to this. Put the resources, the money behind it.
Right.
It'll change.
Right. Yeah, my money's not going to be there, and for that, it's just not going to be.
Well, then we don't need to have our expectations change.
Well, that's the thing, and I think all of us. I'll just talk for me. Me. Every 4 years, I take an interest in hockey. In the Olympics, every 4 years I take interest in gymnastics or the fourth steeplechase or whatever. Yeah. But that's about it.
Yeah.
And so that's a good call that you made. The fact that what do kids in America do? Every Saturday you wake up, there's college football.
Mm-hmm.
Every Sunday there's NFL football. Over there it's soccer Saturdays and Sundays and
during the week.
And during the week and all that, but. We got local things to talk about. Since we can't figure out the problems.
I want you to think about this during this commercial break. USA Today came out with the Big 12 preseason media poll. Everybody has Texas Tech number 1. I'm just going to warn you now, folks. Everybody has Texas
without
Tech
Sorsby?
Yes, without Sorsby. And their regular quarterback. The other guy's hurt. They don't know when he's going to play. They have BYU second. USA Today does. Utah third. Houston 4th, Arizona 5th, TCU 6th, Kansas State 7th, Arizona State 8th, and then so on, and so on.
With the exception of Texas Tech, I think a lot of those rankings are based on quarterbacks that are returning. See, Arizona has Fafita, fifth-year senior, returning. BYU's quarterback was a freshman last year. I think his name was Kent.
Number 44.
I remember saying,
something like that.
He wasn't supposed to start, but they lost.
Bear something.
Yeah, they lost the one kid who had to transfer out for ethical reasons.
And so at Utah, Devin Dampier and his freshman backup. I mean, and so with Arizona State, everyone's new there.
Right.
They don't have a single. So I get all that. And with Texas Tech, even though Texas Tech is uncertain at quarterback, I think their defense had like
It might be better.
Yeah, their defense may even be better than last year. And
You're
last
supposed
year,
to think about this during the
Yeah, I
commercial
know.
break.
No, he's thinking about it now as he's going. But I mean, it's interesting because I'm seeing a lot of people rate Arizona State in that middle range, 8, 9 type range.
I sense a bet coming up.
Yeah, is that the quarterback? We'll talk about it coming back. Kenny Dillingham talks at 10:30 this morning. I'll give you intel on that. But I'm intrigued by these polls I'm seeing from Big 12 doesn't do a poll anymore because they embarrassed themselves that first year with all these new teams in there. With Arizona State last and everything. But it is interesting to talk about. So we'll talk about that. Diamondbacks, little NBA news with the Suns. Coop was probably that yipping and yelling and jumping up and down yesterday. Might have been because of a signing they did there, if you heard Coop doing that. So come on back, folks, the main event. And we're back here, main event with this guy, the local legend, Bruce Cooper, in the house. He stopped yelling at me about calling him that, by the way. So I think it's looking good on him now as he goes around. Really quick on, don't forget, join us on our YouTube chat out there as well. Robert says, wasn't the dude with the man bun, Reams, like 58? Yeah, he's like 38 or something like that. He's one of the elder statesmen on the U.S. team. He said he moved around like it to me. And then Ethan says Egypt is up by 1 in this game. They kicked off already for the game today? I thought it was later on. But that's what Ethan says. Robert says other countries don't put resources into women's soccer either. Well, it's that. Other countries don't, I'll put it this way. Other countries don't necessarily let women do things, I'll put it that way. You know, it's a little bit harder for a girl to go out and play sports in some other countries. They're been pushed into other things, for instance, as well. And then going back to football here, Ethan says, the Big 12 and Monster Energy have entered a multi-year sponsorship agreement, announced at Big 12 Media Day. So every team, guys, is going to have a patch on their jerseys. A little Monster Energy signal here coming up. So the era of patches on jerseys are here.
Commercialize the leagues.
Yeah.
Well, hey, a little bit more money, get closer to the Big Ten and SEC.
But that green logo with the 3, the claw marks on it, just isn't going to look good on some of those uniforms, like the.
Well, they have different color
like the maroon. Do they?
Yeah.
You got to blend it in with the maroon good. You can't just have 3 green stripes down the side. And then where's it going on your jersey is my question. Is it going on the front part? Is it going on the side? That'll determine, too, if it's annoying or not in my eyes. But I'm just saying, the era of commercialization on they're going to be co-branded logos appearing on the football field as well, and basketball court is where they're going to be also.
So tell me this, because I'm thinking about it right now. All the NBA teams have their little sponsor guys on there, whoever it is.
But like Sunspur PayPal, I think they still are. Right?
Whatever it is, but it's like it doesn't distract me. A lot of times I don't even notice anymore.
But the basketball, it's just literally like, it looks almost like a nameplate. It's not big and large. A Monster Energy logo, we'll see what it is, but a Monster Energy logo is a little bit bigger than just a nameplate that says the company name on it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
But I agree with you. I mean, we all complain about this, and then I'm also the guy that watches NASCAR, and I don't even notice all the logos on their jerseys.
No, because you're watching the racing.
Yeah, because when they get out and talk, I don't even pay attention to it anymore, type of a thing. So it is interesting, but that came out of Big 12 Media Day. We were just talking about the polling that's out there. I see a lot of Arizona being ranked high, meaning top 5 in that range. I see a lot of Arizona State in the middle. I agree with you. It has to do with quarterback situation mainly. Lots of unknowns for ASU going into this year as well, type of a situation. But I'm just shocked Arizona's so high. I know they got Fafita back and all that, but
their wide receiver, their offense should still be pretty good.
Right.
I mean, Trace Spivey and some of the receivers they have out there, Fafita will be able to do that. But they lost their entire secondary to the NFL.
Yeah.
And so their defense is greatly depleted. Their defense actually was the biggest surprise last year
for the rebound.
Right. And so, I just don't think that they can replicate that because unlike Texas Tech, they didn't have any. Their depth wasn't ready to step up and play at that same level. So I'll let Dale know right now. I'm all up for another ASU U of A.
All right. Well, you said
and I'll tell you this.
Without knowing ASU's depth chart or anything?
Well, absolutely. And I'll say this, that I know if you look at all the media and all the projections, they look at Cutter Boley, the transfer from Kentucky, as being ASU starting quarterback.
right.
I'm telling you right now, I've seen the kid. I've seen the kid play on tape because I went and looked at some of at Kentucky, and then I've watched some of the spring ball stuff that's taking place. He's not better than Mikey King, and because I covered Mikey King when he played at Chandler High School.
Right.
I expect Mikey King to be ASU starting quarterback. I'll be surprised if he's not.
Yeah, there's breaking news for you. You said
Yeah.
it, and to be fair, you said it a couple months
I
ago
did.
as well when they signed him in. I agree with you. I mean, Keene. I mean, he played at what was it, San Diego State? He played at San Jose State. One of those.
He went and played at University of Central Florida. Then he transferred to Fresno State.
Fresno State. That's because he played here.
He played
here
against
ASU. Beat him.
Beat ASU. Yeah.
Kenny
And so,
Dillingham's
but
first
he reminds me so much.
Well, he
of
went to Michigan
Brock
last year.
Purdy in his preparation. You know, you don't catch this kid not prepared. He's a student of the game, even though he's on the small side, the short side. You know, he can get out. He can make plays outside of the pocket, make plays off script, and then he can stay in and just beat you in the pocket because he's so cerebral.
I question his decision making though. I mean, going from Central Florida to San Jose State, fine, got plenty of playing time there, but then he went to Michigan and just sat on the bench, did nothing, and it's like, well, why'd you do that move for, Tiger? Can help you out at all.
Can't answer that, but I do.
I just kids like that make me question a little bit of what they're doing.
I do expect him to be the ASU starting quarterback, and I expect him to be very successful. Now, look, Arizona State has gone out, and they've their depth at wide receiver is so much better than it has been because you basically had Jordan Tyson and then his underling.
Disappointing after that.
Yeah, but they're deeper there. They're running backs. I mean, Kyson Brown. I mean, they have some depth there. They got a couple of freshmen that have come in. Carday Mack. I like this Arizona State team. Particularly on the offense side of the ball, and they do return some nice pieces on the defensive side. So I think ASU can surprise. I really do.
I think you got to separate this year too. I'm going to tell ASU fans now, you got to separate this year because their non-conference schedule becomes tough because you go to Texas A&M and then you go to London for Kansas.
Sure.
So I'm expecting them to do nothing at Texas A&M. A loss there, it affects your playoff thing. But let's talk about winning the Big 12 first, because then you'll get in, type of thing. But you got to predict, because I can see a lot of ASU fans going, "Oh, we got destroyed at Texas A&M."
No,
and then went to London.
Hey, let me ask you this: I still remember when Arizona State went to Texas A&M.
I'm just saying a possibility.
I'm not looking at any blowout. I mean,
no, I'm just saying possibility of a loss in that situation.
I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona State walked away from
that's a tough place. That's a tough place
to play. Now, this is summer Coop.
I know.
All right, this is where I think that 112 degrees does something to the cerebralness of Mr. Bruce Cooper, because he starts spouting all sorts of nonsense.
Hey, let's put it to you like this.
Tough place to play, and you're leaving to go to London right afterwards. You can't tell me that's not on your mind.
You can only play them one at a time. I mean, you can't play London before you
sometimes
at
you
College
can.
State. Well, they're not going to do that. They're going to go into College Station because they know this is a tough place to play. Like you said, they're the 12th man.
Oh yeah.
Arguably
the loudest stadium.
If ASU can keep the kissing down in the crowd,
Yeah.
and if you keep the kissing down in the crowd, that means you're winning.
Now remember, A&M. We used to always say they were so stupid that they have to have yell practice on Friday night at midnight to go over their cheers, and they get 50,000 people in the stadium.
Yeah,
how crazy is that?
Yeah.
But Coop, it begs another question, and we can move on to unless you want to talk other football. You're telling me that all the prognosticators are wrong, and that ASU will have a better record than Arizona this year.
That's what I'm telling you.
You're telling me.
I'm telling you that.
And you're willing to
Same
put your
bet
money.
as-
Dude, it is July 7th, and you guys are going to do a bet already?
Same bet as last year.
Same bet as last year. All right. Now I'll have to count on you if I happen to lose to get that same table because I ain't got that pull. I mean, if I give some funky name, they ain't even gonna let me make a reservation.
Yeah, brother. Let's see.
right, let's
If
put it down.
you lose, huh? Okay.
Now,
If you
now,
lose.
are we gonna? Is Steve gonna be able to tag along again, even though he's not in this, not putting anything?
I
on?
offered to pay last time. I offered to help out, and I was told no.
Steve, you tag along.
All right. Well, I can tell you this: if I lose, Steve, I ain't paying for you, so you can go on.
I said I paid for myself last year. I know Bruce is a nicer guy than you are.
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
I had cash. I tried to hand Bruce cash, and he wouldn't take it
Oh,
from me as well. Just for the record there. Really quick, just to wrap up media day. It starts today. It started already at 8 a.m. our time. Kenny Dillingham talks at 10:30. I don't think we're going to get any fireworks or anything out of this Big 12 thing. It's a 2-day event. Arizona is tomorrow. Today you got ASU, Baylor, BYU, UCF, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Colorado, and Houston coming up today for those of you interested in that as well, on who gets to talk.
Coop,
and
did
that
you used
fun
to
stuff.
cover these when you were 12? Did you actually go or no?
It was the Pac-12 we did, and they did it in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it was a lot easier to get
was
to.
easy, yeah.
That's the hard part. This is in Frisco, Texas. Like, to get there, man, you can't drive unless you want to be in the car forever. It's
Not
not a
from
quick
here.
turnaround. Whereas LA, you can literally land,
Yeah.
do it, turn around and fly back.
And then the Pac-12, they started doing it in Vegas.
Yeah.
So either way, Los Angeles, Vegas.
But yeah,
I mean,
Texas is just—it's a difficult place for a lot of us to
It's
get
a
to.
2-hour flight. There's an hour time change, so coming back is easy.
But you got a 5-hour drive either way.
Yeah.
When you land in
See, it was a lot easier.
when you land in Dallas,
Oh.
to go to Frisco,
Hey,
it's a long
it's an
drive.
hour.
let me tell you. See, you learn this from our photographers there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what station they're at. See, even when you fly, now you have to pack a lot of your gear
Yeah.
and stuff, put it on the airplane, and then you load it up a couple carts, and then you rent a car, and you're loading up in there.
Mhm.
Whereas they have their own units from the stations, and all they have to do is get in that car. Because when it's L.A. and Vegas, they said
They just drive.
They just drive.
Yeah.
Rather do that.
That's the thing,
and everything's already in place. And so
Right.
there's not a lot of packing. So you can't do that with Texas. It's just
That's the other
too
side of it,
far.
yeah.
too
Yeah,
far.
but hey, Coop, I mean, I know that you're a photographer and you work with some really good ones. I remember Brad Gass,
Yes.
and I'm sure there's other guys. But you never put your hand on a suitcase to help your boys.
Hey, let me tell
Well,
you
he
something.
did. He just in the car with the AC going.
Look, they and so I mean, let's say some of these trips, like you have to take your editing gear with you.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother. So the editing gear is a lot more sensitive. They don't want that just thrown around and stuff like
Right.
that. So they would actually pay and put Fragile with FedEx. So
Okay.
that stuff would get FedEx
Oh,
because
sent over separate?
with that because you know how the baggage people they
Oh,
have
yeah.
to throw your stuff and it's too expensive. So yeah, I'm not packing that stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing all that. You're right.
Coop just goes and hops in the van, and AC on, make sure the AC's on while they're all sitting in the back sweating,
Eddie
loaded
did
up.
that.
But that's the thing, like you said, it's Frisco is like an hour from the airport. It's not like it's right around the corner
Right.
on top of it and
It's-
stuff.
that
It's
is
even
weird.
more of a hassle.
I could see downtown Dallas,
Yeah.
but anyway.
You got to do it in Jerry stuff. Come on,
Yeah.
let's be honest about it.
All right.
Hey, really quick, Suns extend Bartelstein for the Suns and Mercury. Of course, he's CEO of both of those enterprises. The right-hand man there for Matt Ishbia. Right choice, Scoop.
Well, look, I've met Josh Bartelstein once. I had to MC an event in which the late Al McCoy was the keynote speaker, and it was the event was on the center floor of what they now call the Phoenix Suns mortgage matchup. Center.
Right.
And
The morgue.
and so Josh was also on program to get up and speak. He was really a nice guy. Sat and talked with him, but I don't really know him outside of that
I don't think a lot of people do.
one deal. And so
I think he's a quiet guy.
so I can't tell you what it is that he necessarily does,
Yeah.
I know he's the CEO of both the Suns and
He-
the Mercury.
He's not just
I
he's
don't-
shaping the business side, but more
Yeah.
importantly, he's also over the basketball operations.
But
when you look at
I
it,
just don't know how much input he has relative to the personnel
Right.
of each one, and that to me that's the most important
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
And so I'm okay with it.
I think it's
I'm
setting
okay
the
because
culture.
I don't really know him.
I think he's more like a Derek Hall type of a guy, where he's over everything,
Derek Hall's a great guy.
and
Yeah.
you set the tone, and then you let them do their job. I think I think he's had success. I mean, the Mercury made the final last year. They're not very good this year, but they think they got the right coach there at least, and obviously they think the Suns have the right coaching staff with the way they've recovered, and the GM as well. So in terms of the turn, I agree with you. I don't think a lot of people know Bartles. I think he's kind of keeps to himself, to be honest with you.
Well, and
but he's
and
moving in the
that's-
right direction.
and that's not a bad place to be. You know, again, he's not caught in any scandals. He's
Well,
not.
The Sophie Cunningham
well,
one kind of rears his ugly head every once in a while. He denies.
Well, anyway.
Repeatedly.
Oh, that was interesting.
that
was
popped up a
interesting.
couple weeks ago too.
Hey, look, I ain't mad at him. You know?
No, I just wondering. I mean, because you're right, he's kind of a quiet guy, but I'll say this: there's no doubt the Suns and Mercury, although Mercury taking a step back this year, but they're moving. The voice is there, and the voice is moving in the right direction. And most importantly, he's Matt Ishbia's guy. And if Matt Ishbia is not happy with him with the way it's going, so he's doing everything that Matt Ishbia wants. I'm not upset about it. I'm not torn up about it. I'm just curious because you just don't know a lot about this guy and what he does. Derek Hall, he hires the people and lets them do their thing.
But he's also a public persona.
That's the difference.
He
And
talks,
Bartle's not.
Hall talks a lot more than Bartles.
When was the last time you saw Josh? If he started talking right now in your ears, you'd be like, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
You'd have no idea what he sounds like. Right?
I'm not even sure exactly what he looks like because you met him up close. But we had a special teams coach with the Dallas Cowboys, a guy named Steve Hoffman, actually kicking coach, quality control guy. He said my whole goal here is to last 20 years, and when I get fired, Jerry Jones goes, "Who's Steve Hoffman? I don't want anybody to know who I am."
Yeah, because the only time he's getting mentioned is when something horribly wrong goes wrong, right? Kobe Bryant signs a 2-way NBA contract to return to the Suns.
I like it. He's a tremendous shooter.
You're a big fan of his.
I am. I mean, look, it's no joke what he did in college. I mean, I think he was
Kentucky.
The best 3-point shooter his final season in college. I think he hit like 47% of those. And with the Phoenix Suns in like 12 games, I think he was 13 of 30 is the number I saw.
But he had a really good final game, that last game of the year when they benched everybody.
That's when he got his extended play.
Yeah.
He knew he wasn't coming out. They were there. Him and Kamal, I think Malawach had 18 and 14 with 3 blocks in that game as well. So,
look at Coop
but Brea can shoot. The fella can flat out shoot the ball. The Suns need, and so I think that he's going to have another one of those seasons in which he doesn't play a lot because Suns went out and signed one of the best veteran 3-point shooters in the game in Luke Kennard. Kennard can shoot his behind.
Well, then Bridges is 33% from the 3-point line as well. On top of that,
what Bridges does more so than anything, he brings athleticism and explosiveness to that side. I mean, he's again. I go back to their play-in game with Miami. They're up by a point. Miami driving to shoot the game-winning shot. He out of nowhere he comes up and he blocks it.
Yeah,
and they win the game. And now they're in the playoffs. And so he brings that. That's something that you weren't going to get out of Grayson Allen or Royce O'Neal. Neither one of them play above the rim.
I told Dale what's impressing me most about the Suns, and I think what I like about what they're doing with their 2-way contracts, they're using it as a development.
Sure.
Hey,
sure.
G League, but you're going to come up here and play some games. Let's get you improved up here as well. The idea being, so he could be like a I just forgot his name, Gillespie, right? Where hey, you're just on the bench, you're not playing a lot, but when you get your opportunity, take advantage of it. And you're developing over 2-3 years, and eventually he gets into there where he's a bench guy and can develop. I like the way they're doing it. But I said what I like about this Suns team, because it's rare we see this in Arizona. They went out and they targeted their guys in the free agency and everything, and they just went and got them. Every other team around here tends to go, well, we got to wait for the first wave of guys to go off, and we'll get the scraps. And the Suns went, nope, we want these guys. They might not have got everybody they wanted, but they went out and said, we want these guys. They made the moves, and even in the 2-way contract.
This is what's interesting about Luke Kennard, because you see this. I was shocked when he signed with the Suns, because the Suns only had that $6 million exception to
for that
use.
final spot.
Right. And there were other teams with like 15 million exceptions and with more
He could
money
have made
to
more
spend.
money.
And yet, then I said, didn't make any sense to me until I saw this. His agent is the father of Josh Bartelstein.
Yeah. If you didn't know,
family connection.
yeah, if you
That
didn't, if you
family
didn't know,
connection.
Josh has a very family that are in that business. Yes.
So
That's
I
no
said, okay,
secret.
so I
It's
ain't
not a
mad at
secret
that.
out there.
I know, and so then when you find
But
that,
don't you look at it if you're Luke Kennard that you come in here and you have just an unbelievable season,
well,
and then that helps you out later on?
no. Well, here's the deal: the second year of his contract is a player option.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure his agent said, "Look, we'll play that player option. You'll have bird rights, and so we'll do right
Do
by you."
another deal after that, yeah. But that's what I hate about the NBA. They make that stuff so confusing all the
Yes.
time. It makes my head hurt.
Yeah.
But I knew you'd be excited about Brea when I saw that.
Sure,
they're
sure.
bringing him back for another
yeah.
opportunity.
And so, and look, I want to again a tip of the hat to Brian Gregory, Bartelstein, and Ishbia and stuff, because see, when Matt came in, I mean, he purged our team.
Mhm.
I mean, of all our young good talent, and then our young future assets going forward. So you said I'm here thinking that, man, we're in trouble. I mean, we have nothing going. But they somehow managed to, trade this guy, waive this guy, and make other deals to where they get future assets. And then all of a sudden you find out that their team is very young. Look, they got like 8 guys that are 25 or younger.
And
Starting
with NBA experience
yeah,
on top of
like
it. Yeah.
Jalen Green.
Yeah.
I mean, you go down Kaman Malawak. You look at Rasheer Fleming. Now you bring in Koa Pete. You have the Ryan Dunns, the Oso Iguodaro. Those are 6 guys right there that I just named that are 25 or younger.
Who are you, Coop, expecting to make the biggest jump this year from last year?
Rasheer Fleming. Rasheer Fleming. I
Yeah.
mean, Rasheer was ready for more last year, but they just didn't give it to him. But you can't deny this kid's and look, that's one thing I learned about Jordan Ott last year. Ott just didn't like playing those young
didn't
kids.
like it, yeah.
He preferred to play the veterans over the young kids. So that's one of the reasons why I was so ardent about the Suns getting rid of both Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal, because now those are options that
You
Ott
don't
can't
have.
go to. He can't use them. And so then I read the other day, I think just yesterday, in fact, where they said that Rasheer Fleming added muscle and he's up to 250 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I hope.
I think he's gained an inch too.
Yeah, and I hope Malawak hit that same weight room.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
I was reading yesterday. I think it was yesterday, or maybe it was over the weekend. Malawach is literally like just living in the gym. Like every day he's in the gym working and working on his game and practicing and stuff to that effect. So, like this whole off season.
How about Oso? Do you think he's going to develop a shot?
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, if he did that, the Suns will be taking that Oklahoma City Thunder step, because they went out and got a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but everyone else is pretty much. And I know, you can say Mike Hartenstein and the kid that they got from L.A. Bald head.
oh,
sweatband.
yeah. Gosh, what is his name?
Yeah,
Caruso.
Yes.
Alex Caruso. But everyone else is like homegrown.
Right.
And what they've done is that each year they've gotten better. They got better and better to now where the Oklahoma City Thunder had this invincible team until Wemby and the Spurs came along. But I tell you what, I like what they did in the draft. They got Ade Mara.
Yeah, but
who's like 7'3", and
I like what the Spurs did in the draft.
Yeah.
They just added some talent.
They did. They went and got Jaden Quaidens, who's like 6'10", a big defensive savant, and Terrace Reed, another 6'10" guy. They're adding, because see, one thing that you saw was that Wemby gets pushed around.
Yep.
And now they're bringing some size and some defensive tenacity to aid him to where if he needs to go to the bench and get re-energized, that we're not going to get exposed defensively.
Right.
Yeah. Just put those guys in there. Really quick here, because we want to talk Diamondbacks here just really fast. The Big 12 just announced they're going to be introducing live replay review conversations, kind of like what the ACC did last year, if you saw that.
What?
So basically, if you're watching the TV broadcast, you're going to hear the
discussion
conversation
time.
between the replay officials and that official that looks in that stupid little thing. You're going to hear the conversation between the two of them if you're watching the broadcast.
I see.
I'm all for doing this stuff because it takes away the guesswork. Even if they get a call wrong, you're going to understand why they made that decision. You don't have to wait till after the game and somebody put a statement out. You're going to hear it in real time. I think it's fantastic.
But look, correct me if I'm wrong. The ACC has its own network.
Yes.
I don't think the Big 12 does.
No.
And so I don't know how the Big 12 does that because, see, if it's the broadcasting entity that decides that.
Oh, I mean, they got with the broadcast guys on that.
ESPN, ABC,
No, there's rule. I mean, if they would all,
Fox.
you have to get it cleared through everybody first. It's not like, not like but the Fox is on board with it if they're gonna do it.
Okay, well
ESPN.
then, but see, if the ACC can make that announcement because they actually
ACC
broadcast
network.
games
Well,
like
and
the SEC.
Yeah.
I don't think Big 12's make that announcement if they haven't cleared it.
They're not doing it, and then
Fox
we're going to be all
ESPN.
disappointed when we don't see it. But I think everybody, this just goes to the transparency. So even if they make the call wrong and you think the call is wrong, you can at least hear the discussion about it, and you're going to go, okay, I can see why they say that's the rule, and then you can look it up and then disagree.
Or
with
you
it
could
then.
say those guys were drunken
Yeah,
idiots.
but I think adding more of this discussion, because then that way you're not waiting. Like I always go back to the targeting at that Texas ASU game. It's like we had to wait till a statement afterwards, and then the statement was BS, and you have no way to address it.
That was a blown call.
If you would have heard the
time.
conversation, then it might have opened some eyes a little bit on it.
But here's the deal.
I doubt it.
Here's where I'll disagree with ASU fans. Yeah, it clearly it was a blown call. But ASU blew it when they had 4th and 13. You can't go
the
back
zero
and start,
coverage.
Yeah, you can't go back and start blaming that call when you had the game in your hands.
Yeah. No, you blame your
In your
defensive coordinator
hands.
who loves that 4th and zero coverage on fourth down. Zero coverage on fourth down.
Yeah,
I
you'd
should
be
say.
playing Ohio State in the semifinals if you just take care of that one play. So don't go back. I don't want to hear about any targeting call that wasn't made.
And if Danny Ainge hadn't left his guy, Suns might have a banner in there.
If he hadn't fall down. Diamondbacks yesterday, 8-0 lead over the Padres. I knew the Padres were bad. I don't watch a lot of Padres baseball generally in life, even when they're good.
The Padres are not a bad team.
They're terrible.
I don't know.
They're terrible right now.
They still have the Manny Machados, the Fernando Tatis.
Machado's terrible right now. He's getting better. But he's terrible right now.
Look. I don't know what's happening. There's obviously a disconnect. I saw that they broke. I watched the game Sunday against the Dodgers when they snapped their 8-game losing streak. I don't know what has disconnected there, but I know they're a good team. Now watching the game,
they have
last
talent
night,
on that team.
Yeah, watching the game last night. I mean, it's the second straight game now that Brandon Pfaadt has thrown extremely well. So I'm of this opinion right now. This was circulating in my head. Brandon Pfaadt was obviously the ace of the Diamondbacks pitching staff. The way he pitched during their run to the 2023 World Series,
right?
He got paid, so now I think he got a little comfortable.
Mm.
And maybe lost his focus. But when he got sit down to the minors, let me tell you something. His focus is back to being top drawer.
Did you notice he changed his pitching routine?
I saw that where he doesn't go over his head.
He doesn't go over his head anymore.
Keeps it up here.
He changed that by going back down too.
Yeah. But he doesn't. He didn't like that. He's more focused.
But early this year, he pitched well. It just had that one inning where he would give up 7 runs in one inning. But other than that, he was zero, type of deal. And then he avoided that.
But that 9 inning, let's call it a 9 inning focus.
Yep.
Even though he's only pitching 5 to 7 innings, that focus is back. He doesn't have those lapses. He hasn't had it. I mean, he's pitched extremely well, and so I was happy to see Max Kepler.
I was going to say
he launched that thing.
He came alive. He had half their RBI last night.
Well, he hit that ball, and I was talking to my buddy I was watching the game with because we started watching right after the soccer game, and the right fielder didn't even move.
Yeah.
I mean, he just watched it go. Is that showing up your picture when you do that? Like, shouldn't you at least take a couple steps back?
Yeah, pretend like you can go get it. Like, put your glove up at least.
Is that like, my gosh, look at how far that's going.
Yeah. And look, the Diamondbacks bullpen just continues to shine. I mean, they really, that's been, to me, the biggest surprise of this season, and it's probably, arguably, their strength. strength of the team is their bullpen. And so I hope what we saw from Merrill Kelly over the weekend is an indication of him coming back to form. But let me tell you something. That darn, and I felt bad for him. That darn Eduardo Rodriguez. I mean, the dude just pitches his behind off every game.
2 runs.
Dude, they sent him back out in the 7th inning and gives up a hit. And so he's going to face the lefty 2-run homer.
Yeah.
I mean, he just pitched his behind off, and he continues to do that. And so I'm thinking, okay, if we get Fott back on board, if we got him back, and Rodriguez continues to pitch the way he does, and maybe Merrill Kelly's rounded into form. Hey, look, Mike Soroka.
You're getting Soroka back soon.
He's just right around the corner from coming back.
Yeah,
right around the corner. And him and Rodriguez were pitching 1-2, and there's still one guy that I guess you can't, and you can't get rid of him now because of the Ryan Nelson and
doesn't matter. Call up Joe Schmo from Double A and have him.
But I tell you, I watched Cabrera.
Yeah, he's on the mound tomorrow night. Cabrera.
Yeah. I think he's interesting. You know,
I could see the flaws in Cabrera's game as they get film on him right now, and they just have to work through it. But for now, keep him up there till they start to catch on to it and stuff to that. He throws hard in the movement, but I can see guys are going to catch up to him at some point. He's going to have an outing where we're all going to go, they caught up to him.
The other thing that Steve, you and I didn't even talk about this yesterday, the fact that the 2 All-Stars from Arizona.
Well, we talked about it.
I think we just mentioned it. Corbin Carroll and Erod.
Yeah.
You satisfied with that? You happy with that?
Yeah, I'm not sure that Carroll should have been on there, but Erod for sure.
Right.
I'm not sure.
With his triples and doubles alone should have him on the All-Star roster.
Well, let me tell you something. There's some other guys out there. I just watched James Wood from the National. I'm like, dude, he has 28 home runs.
He's a good.
I'm like, son of a brick.
Yeah, but the Nationals are about to trade him because they can't have guys doing well. They'll have to pay him. They don't want that.
Well, I'll take him in Arizona.
Yeah, where is he going to play when he comes to Arizona?
I'll say
Gurriel, and they make too much money.
Man,
have to be cheap guys.
Hey, man, I'll pay that dude. Hey, we need some type of hit because that's the Diamondbacks' big Achilles heel right now is that they don't have that bopper in the lineup.
Well, they
don't have anybody to hit.
Well, they have some guys that are capable.
Yeah, right. They're just not. Yeah.
But if you go back to last year, we know as Gino had over close to 40 home runs with Arizona.
Right.
And
that's to me.
Naylor was another guy that could.
That's the frustrating thing with me and the Diamondbacks. They scored 8 runs last night, and you just know, like tonight, they're going to score 2.
Hey, look,
they're going to score 1 or 2 tonight.
I wasn't a big Josh Naylor fan, but the more and more I watch Pavin Smith play first base, I miss Naylor.
Coop, I want to see you out there at first base instead of Pavin at this point. They did make a move yesterday that obviously, they needed to. But, I mean, James McCann coming back to this, a veteran presence, I think is going to help this team in the locker room. But Adrian Del Castillo, they needed to do something.
Yeah, he needed to go down. I mean, the dude's hitting close to 150.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, dude.
Him and Pavin. But at least they made a move on one of those 2 guys because they weren't willing to do it before. So it gives you hope, doesn't it?
Well, how long is it till Jordan Lawler comes back? Because I'll send Pavin Smith back down.
Well, Pavin Smith can't. You're going to have to DFA him. He can't go down.
I
don't think he has options anymore. I think that's why they keep holding on to him.
I'll trade.
He's got pictures of somebody.
I'll trade him at the deadline.
Who's going to take him
for a low A pitcher?
You might get used Gatorade back or something for Pavin Smith at this point.
Bag of batting.
Throw up the wild card standings really quick here, and I mean, look, the Diamondbacks Padres they were tied yesterday coming into this. Obviously, Diamondbacks go a game ahead of them here in the wild card standings here. You have the potential to put away. It's way tons of baseball left, but you have potential to do damage to a team that's struggling right now in the Padres. They got game 1. We'll have to see how Zach Gallen goes tonight and everything coming up here. But this is why this series is important, is you can really do some damage to yourself in the wild card of a hole you have to dig out of here, especially with the Dodgers 3 coming up shortly in front of you as well. So hurt your division foe now and get through this with this 4-game series. I think it's super important to do that. And
Well,
on a team that's scuffling, the Padres are scuffling.
Well, yeah, if
not
if
close.
they can sweep the Padres, because we've seen them sweep the Giants twice and then win 2 out of 3 the second time. If they can do that, I like their chances of finishing behind the Dodgers. Now, whether that's good enough or not to be one of the 3 wild cards, that's still to be seen.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it will be.
But if you got those teams behind you in your rearview mirror in your own division, that's a positive.
Right.
Yeah, and I think I just want to see some. Now the Padres aren't over 500, so it's not helping that 14-32 record or whatever it is now. But I want to see you beat teams that have a lot of talent, and the
Sure.
Padres have a lot of talent.
they do.
Yes, they're not playing well, but beat those teams. Don't go out there and struggle against them because that's what they've been doing all along. I just want to mention this while Coop's here as well. Over the weekend, I saw this, and I didn't believe it at first, but apparently it's real. Major League Baseball put out retiring umpires that are taking their retirement plan over the weekend and everything. And, some big guys are on that list there and stuff like this. Is this a sign of the ABS system retiring some of these umpires that just don't have it anymore and they're not going to be embarrassed?
Well, I'll tell you what. Was it a forced thing for the?
Right.
Well,
for
the CB
um,
Buckner, when CB Buckner went down with that injury, it was after a couple really bad games for him. And I put out on Twitter and I said, CB Buckner is retiring himself from baseball because they said he's having a big concussions and he's not going to come back. And a couple people jumped on my feed and they were like, you don't know how bad a concussion is when you get hit like that. And I was like, I don't care. He's not coming back. He got embarrassed with the ABS system. He's going to self-retire himself, meaning he's injured, and now he's one of the guys taking this package and stuff like that. Is this what the ABS is kind of what it's doing? Is it's going to get rid of some of these umpires that are struggling getting the calls right in these?
Yeah, but you know what? I was very skeptical of the ABS system coming in, but I actually like it.
The way they've implemented it.
Yeah, I actually like it, and I like the fact that I didn't know how the referees or the umpires would respond,
Right.
To a missed call, and it seems like they handle it all. They take it all in stride,
Right.
and it seems like no one really gets on them one way or the other. And I was watching a game where a Diamondbacks game a couple weeks ago, where every challenge, both teams. You get 2 challenges.
Yeah.
Yep.
And neither team ever lost his
Yeah,
challenge.
kept going.
I'm like, this
But
referee. I mean, dude,
I agree with you.
I'm feeling bad for him.
I agree with you in the regular season. The question I got is how it's going to be implemented in the playoffs.
Does it change in the playoffs?
Well, no. Here's the question I got. We've already seen it in regular season a couple times, not too often, is how the teams implement it. You want one challenge for late in the game in a playoff, especially an elimination type game. Could you imagine this comes down to the 9th inning, borderline pitch, strikeout, is game lose the game, or it's a walk and you lose, and you don't have a challenge on it on a pitch that isn't borderline or something? Like that's where I'm going to be interested in seeing how this rolls out, how it affects a playoff game and how you implement the ABS kind of a deal.
It's no different, I see, than the regular season. I think there's some teams that have not been smart about
Yeah.
using
Right.
it. I mean,
I saw a guy the other day challenge 2 pitches in the first inning, lose them both, and they lost the challenge in the first inning.
when there's no one on.
That was over the weekend.
When there's
yeah.
no one on base, there's not a big situation. I mean, look, if it's bases loaded, 3-2 pitch and stuff like that, call strike 3-8.
And you
Challenge
strike out,
it. Challenge
it
it.
doesn't hurt,
Yeah.
unless it's right down the
those
middle.
are situations that call for it, and so you have to be judicious about how you implement or use it. And so there's some teams that have been really stupid.
Right.
Yeah, the first game where a challenge
Wow.
is obvious and you don't have one in the 8th or 9th inning because you used them earlier in a playoff game that cost you the series. That's just going to be fascinating to see the reactions to it. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Because now you lose a regular season game. It's a regular season game. We'll learn better. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes.
Some of those regular season games have hurt the Diamondbacks down the stretch the last 2 years. I know that.
That's true.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's true. One game, right?
Hey, the one thing we know about this time, Ketel Marte's not going to have to rest on Sunday.
I was joking around with Dale. I
And
said,
he'll be back whenever they play
See,
next.
Dale says that, but now instead of going to the All-Star game, he could just take off and go straight to the Dominican and miss his plane flight back. He won't have to stop for the
Hey,
All-Star game.
I'm seeing him run harder and faster.
Dude,
and,
isn't that, man? He's stealing bases. He stole second and he stole third. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Which-
who is this guy?
Which just that just baffles me
Mhm.
because all along last couple years he's got bad hamstrings and a bad back. We don't want him to run. And now he's doing it, and it's like he could have done it all along.
no, he had a bad back and bad hamstrings. See?
It drives me nuts, man. I'll tell you this, Coop. I was on vacation. I did not pay attention to the Diamondbacks at all. Very little sports. Man, my life was just so peaceful without hearing all the nonsense about how Gallen, isn't fighting for his job, and Pavin Smith is. We know what kind of hitter Pavin is. Yeah, sucky one. They keep running him out. It was just so relaxing, not getting fed all that stuff all weekend long and lied to the whole weekend. Ah, so beautiful. Now I'm back into it, though.
Are you going to be watching the Vegas Summer League this weekend?
I'll be paying attention to it just because I want to see what the way I look at Summer League is this. If you're a rookie and you go in and you struggle in Summer League, that makes you worried for the NBA season coming up. But if you go out there and dominate it or have a really good success, then that means doesn't mean you're going to go be an all-star this year, but you're in a better position to go into the season and contribute. So I'll be paying attention to Cole Pete. I want to see which one he is. If he goes out there and dominates and has great games, perfect. He's ready to come in and learn and improve in the NBA season. But guys that go out there and struggle against G League guys.
I honestly don't see Cole Pete making that big of an impact.
But as long as they don't struggle.
Yeah.
I don't want him to see him struggle.
Because if I look at the power forward's position, I'm saying, okay, Bridges is going to start, and his backup has to be Rasheer Fleming. Fleming has to play.
Yeah.
He has to play. And so
I'd say the same about Malowacz, though, as the backup. I'd say the same thing about Malowacz as the
well,
backup. He needs more minutes.
I don't
this
have
year.
any confidence that Jordan Ott will be able to utilize that three-headed center monster.
But that's why I'm getting out with Fleming. You could see him not go with Fleming as that second spot.
Who's his option? Who's his option if he didn't? Cole Pete?
Yeah.
Look,
Oso over into that?
Well,
I know what you're saying.
if Oso developed any type of a shot, then I'd be able to consider it.
But I also think that this summer league also kind of gives you an insight of where guys can play as well, because they don't always play them in the right positions, and they move them around a little bit. So that's what I get from the summer league. It's nonsense. It's preseason. It's garbage. But what you don't want to see is a guy out there and look lost, because these are G League guys they're playing against. And if you got to go out there and have a good, successful summer league, at least look like you know what you're doing out there and not look lost, because that's what worries me.
The Suns also made this two-way contract signing of Pat Spencer from Golden State.
Yeah.
And I remember watching Suns Warriors games, and Spencer is knocking down these. I'm like, who is this guy?
Who is this
guy?
Dude, that looks like they pulled him off the street.
And so he's an interesting talent. I thought he was worth kicking a bucket on. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, he played well with the Warriors and that offense and everything. I don't disagree with you on that. And that's what I like about the two-way. That's what I just like about it. Hey, let's try these guys out. They don't work out. They go down the G League and play down there, and we don't have to see them all year, but we'd like to see them develop here and using that two-way contract the way you should. A lot of teams try to use a two-way contract to skirt their roster and get guys on their roster and stuff like that. And the Suns look like, they like to promote them, but let's develop them and make them into players. So I like that a lot. But hey, the legend, Bruce Cooper, we're done with you today, Coop. Appreciate you coming in as always. For Dale Hellestrae, the star of the show. Don't forget, guys, we end the show now like Michael Bidwell yesterday. Want to remind everybody, appreciate you guys watching, but remember, I am the owner of this show. You guys think Dale is, but I am the owner of this show. And lucky for you, I'm here to guide you along the way.
He's got a bridal suite that he wants to send your way.
See you tomorrow, everybody. The main event.